Hey everybody, I am Brandon, the founder and arranger of On Brand Music Company, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of a series of 5 videos where I'll be discussing arranging techniques for marching bands. And I'm calling these videos the 5 Fs. The very first F that I would like to introduce you to is find out who you're writing for. Find out who you're writing for. That's the first F, all right? And under each of these different Fs, I'm going to give you 3 points in the close, as they do in the Baptist church, all right? And the very first point that I want to give you is your ensemble level. That's the first thing you have to find out. You know, are you writing for a middle school band, a high school band, a college band? And this is important because it informs you of the maturity level of the musicians, or the expected maturity level of the musicians. You know, as far as their ability to sight read, especially if this is a time-sensitive arrangement that you're doing. And also, it's important to know these players' endurances, right? So if you think about brass players, you know, they can play for a while, but not too long if they're younger. The more mature they are as musicians, the longer they can play for, all right? And the second point is the instrumentation. You have to gather the numbers per instrument. And that is important because as an arranger, it'll kind of inform you of what parts you can double. Can I double the melody on this part? When I'm building harmonies, what parts of the chord can I use? What parts can't I use? All of that's going to be important. Your instrumentation is going to dictate that. Okay? And it's also important to kind of ask the director at this point what sections he or she feels are stronger. The last thing, as far as finding out who you're writing for, you want to find out what and why you're writing. And that is the purpose of the song, the why. And time is a very important part of that, right? So you got to consider time limits. If you're writing for a high school or college band, you know, they perform at football games. And sometimes they might need an arrangement for halftime, or if they want to just play a few pep tunes in the stands. You have certain restrictions that you have to manage as far as time goes. Also, you have to understand that, you know, depending on what you're writing for, you might have more flexibility. For example, if you're writing for the stands than you do on the field, right? Because when you're introducing a song on the field, the band, there's choreography and movement involved. Whether it's marching or actual dance choreography, the band might not be able to have as much control on the music as they would if they're parking and playing, as we call it, and they're standing still and playing the music. And also field positioning. During marching band shows, the ensemble moves around a lot because of the drill and the formations. Or if they're doing choreography, the horn flares go around and around and in different areas if they're dancing and playing. So you want to take that into consideration. And then just general effect as well as a part of the purpose and the why of the song. You know, is this a song that the band director wants to use to show off the power of the band? Just say, hey, we have a pretty big band this year, we have a strong sound, mature musicians, we want something to be written that's going to demonstrate our power. So as an arranger, you have to keep that in mind and say, okay, well, I'm going to voice this way, or write it in this key because I know this is a big, bright, majestic key, and I want to showcase that. You know, sometimes the director just wants to show off. If they have a strong woodwind section, they say, hey, you know, I know this song might sound a little busy, but my woodwinds can handle it, and I want to demonstrate the level of musicality. On the flip side of that, if the director wants to showcase their trumpet section, you know, a very brassy, edgy sound, as an arranger would, I've had directors instruct me to do that before, and you know, what I'll do is sometimes go against the grain of the traditional voicing, where the clarinets and the flutes or piccolos will be doubled with the trumpet sound to help the melody carry. But as arrangers know, or some of you might not know, that also can potentially soften the overall edge of the brassy sound. So what I'll do is I'll kind of isolate and use that as a solely trumpet sound, and then have the woodwinds serve in a more auxiliary or decorative fashion, and just feature the trumpets in that regard. So always important to talk to the director about those types of things. So again, the first F, find out who you're writing for. What is the level of the ensemble? That's the first major point. Again, 3 points in the close, like the Baptist church. Number 2, what is the instrumentation? How many musicians per instrument? And number 3, why are you writing the song? Are you writing it for the field, or are you writing it for the stands? What is the point? All right, so again, follow all of these steps, and I hope that you find these things helpful to help you be a better arranger and a more effective arranger. As always, like, share, subscribe this video, and thank you, and be well.